Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're just waiting on some more people to enter the room, but it's so exciting to join you again. And this is the Mastermind group, and we meet every Thursday at 1 o'clock p.m. So I'm very excited to be here with you. And the purpose of the Mastermind group is to not only just hear my thoughts and my concepts, but also to hear the mastermind group itself, so the other members. So the idea is that if there are two minds together, those two minds create a third mind. And we are so much more wise and insightful when we are using the mindset of not just ourselves, but other people as well. So, who am I? I am Arlene. I'm a life coach and a business consultant, and I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. So, have you ever wanted to start a business, but you just haven't seemed to get started? Or you already have a business and you want to 10x that business that you already have, take it to the next level. Well, you just haven't seemed to do it yet. Or perhaps it's not business at all. You're in a career, you're in that job, and you know you want to move up. You know you want that promotion. You know that you're the ideal person for that next big opportunity, but you just haven't seemed to move forward yet. So there are many reasons for that. Maybe you don't feel like you know where to go or how to get there. So my job is to help you as a life coach and a business consultant. I specialize in the area of momentum. So, momentum coaching means that I help you to move forward, to do it. Okay. Like Nike says, just do it. That's what we're doing. We're just doing it. Okay. And you have your coach who's going to help you to formulate a plan as to how to do it so that you can feel more confident. And so, one of the key areas that we need to work on in terms of our momentum, in terms of moving forward and accomplishing those tasks, one of those key areas is speaking, our speaking ability. Because if we can gain confidence in our speaking ability in the way that we communicate with others, then we're going to be just that much more likely to communicate with others, in which case we're going to be more likely to win. Okay, so Arlene, you said all these great things. You do momentum coaching. Why you? Why should I choose you? So several years ago, I mean, apart from the degrees and the positions that I've held, several years ago, I had a devastating experience. So I was president of a chamber of commerce. I had been for other chambers, and I was recruited out of 300 people to head up this particular chamber of commerce in another state from where I lived. And so I moved out there, got an apartment. I was fully immersed in the whole idea of my working there. And after a couple of months of working there, a new board of directors came in. And that new board of directors wanted a different leader of their chamber of commerce. They didn't want me. And so as a result, I got fired. But that's not all. I didn't just get fired, guys. My picture was on the cover of the newspaper, and across my face, it said fired. Now that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. Like, many people don't even get on the front page of a newspaper, right? But to be on the cover of a newspaper and to have that across your face was really devastating for me. And I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. I had a speaking engagement that morning, was Kiwanis Club, I believe, and I just couldn't go. I just couldn't get out of bed because of this blow that I had received of being fired from the Chamber of Commerce. And then shortly thereafter, my mom passed away. And then I was really stuck. So I had to figure out how to move forward, and it was really hard. So I started going to conferences. I started reading books. I started getting all the CDs and just trying to get information as much as possible to be able to help me get up and move forward. So if you've been going through a challenge, or you feel like you've been knocked down or knocked to the side, or you just had a death in your family, I understand. And so the tool that I used was this concept of life coaching. That was very helpful for me. And I formulated these 10 steps tools or techniques that helped me to move forward. And I share those with you. I share them in the book called The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck, and Living Your Best Life, and also in a program. And the program is the 10-step results-oriented program to accomplish your goal, to move forward. So the question for you today is, what do you want to achieve? What goal would you like to accomplish? And the goal of the life coach or the business consultant life coach is to help you to not just determine what you want, but also to come up with that plan as to how to get it. Okay, so I was very excited, like I said, to be here. We're going to talk today not about all 10 secrets because it's too many, it's too much, but we're just going to talk about a couple of secrets. Okay, let's talk about 3 of the secrets that helped me to overcome fear, get unstuck, and to live my best life. So what are we talking about today? It is this concept of, what do you want? 9 times out of 10, guys, the reason why you have not achieved what you want is probably because you've not been clear. You've not been definitive about what you want. So I had a young lady on the Mastermind last week, and I'm not going to tell you her name, but she knows who she is. And she said to me that she's getting discouraged in her business because she has not been able to achieve yet what it is that she wants to achieve. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 is being clear. Okay, being clear about what it is that you want. So somebody says, I want a business. I want to be successful. I want to have lots of clients. Those are not clearly defined goals. Step 1 is to have a clearly defined goal. So what does that sound like? That sounds like something that is specific, like I want 10 clients. And I want them, it needs to have a time frame. So I want 10 clients by the end of September, or I want 10 clients by the end of next month, or 20 clients. It doesn't matter the number. What is significant and what is important is this concept of being definitive and clear. So then at least you know whether you achieved the goal or you didn't achieve the goal. Whereas if you don't set it, it's very hard to say, well, was I successful or not? Well, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I don't know. Okay, so step number 1, as I said, of the 3 steps that we're looking at today is this concept of clarity. Now, I've talked about it before, but I'm talking about it again. Not only do we need to be definitive about what it is we want, so define it. And when you define it, it has to have these 5 elements, okay? It's what you call a SMART goal, or a SMART goal. So you're going to determine whether or not this goal is simple, okay? So is it something that is doable? It's simple, it's doable. Not that you can do it now, today, but it's doable, it's simple. And the goal is measurable. So that means that goal, that dream, that vision that you have for that book, for that business, whatever it is, it must be a measurable goal. So 5 new clients, 10 new clients, 1 book written on how to overcome fear, get unstuck, and live your best life, or 1 book written on how to achieve your goals. It must be measurable, okay? So usually when we say things like, I want to have a successful business, that's not measurable, guys. And some people are endeavoring to be successful in their business, but they don't have a measurable goal. Okay, the next step. Is your goal attainable? Okay, it must be attainable. It must be something that is attainable. So specifically, as I said, I want to achieve 10 clients by next month. Is that attainable? Well, it depends on who you are. It may be attainable to me because, you know, I've been working at this now for several years, but is it attainable to you if this is the first business that you've started and you've just begun and you have no clients? Is it realistic or attainable to say that you're going to, because realistic is the next one, but attainable to say you're going to get 10 clients by next month? Well, maybe. I mean, it depends. In your world, it may be. But if you say, I'm gonna, like, for example, we have Elon Musk who said he's gonna have a bus to the moon. Was that attainable? Was that realistic? Well, if my kid said that to me, I may have said to her a couple of years ago, like, perhaps you need to have a more specific goal. But he achieved it. He's achieving it. He has the company called SpaceX. So you have to look at who you are as an individual, which is why you need a coach to help you to cultivate and determine whether or not the goals that you have are actually attainable and realistic. Okay, so the next one is realistic. So for Elon Musk, as I said, it was realistic for him to start SpaceX and say, I'm going to have a bus to the moon. Is that a realistic goal for you? This is why we need a coach, because sometimes we need somebody else to either support those ideas that we're sharing and say, wow, yeah, I can see you working and moving forward in that area. I have a plan. I can work with you on a plan. Or somebody in our ear who is supportive, like a coach, to say, listen, this is not a realistic goal for this month or for the next 6 months or for this year, but it's a realistic goal for next year. Okay, so it must be attainable. It must be realistic. Okay, and it must have a timeline. Okay, so I want to have 10 new clients by a set time frame. I want to have 5 new clients by a set time frame. Okay, so it's so important that we have all 5 of these elements included in our getting clear about what we want and having that clarity around that goal. Now, being clear and having clarity is an inside game, guys. Many people think it's out here, it's out here. So I've set these goals and I'm running and I'm ripping and I'm achieving and I've got this meeting here and I've got that meeting there, and you're all over the place running and ripping, as opposed to realizing that one of the greatest things that we can do in terms of clarity is to get clear in here. Okay, determine who we are, who we want to be. Okay, and if we're not that person, determine what we need to do to become that person. Because whatever it is that we're giving out is what we're attracting back to us. So if you're sitting in bed and you're distressed like I was a couple of years ago, it would have been almost impossible for me to achieve a successful business in that state. Okay, but once we begin to get up and we begin to move and we set our morning habits in place and we begin to exercise and we begin to develop into that person that we want to be, that we want to exude in order to bring those good things to us that we want, then you can begin on the journey. Okay, then you can look and say you have clarity in terms of your goals and your visions. Okay, so we have to become the person that we want, even though we haven't yet gotten it. So some people always say, well, Arlene, that's kind of woo-woo. That's like, what you call it, the law of attraction. Yes, it actually is the law of attraction. And for those of you who are not supporters of the law of attraction, but you are people who are religious people, it's the same thing. It says, that you should think those things as though they were. You have to, see, well, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's just deal with become the person that you want, okay? Become the person that you want, that person that would attract the successful business, that person that would have written that book, that person that now is able to 10x, the business that they do have. Become that person. And as you become that person, you'll make it so much easier for you to attract those things that you want. Okay, so if you're watching this and you're sitting there looking at me and you know that you're not doing the things that need to be done in order to achieve or in order to acquire those goals, chances are that we need to make a shift, okay, and begin doing that. All right, so we said number 1 is clarity, being clear about what we want. So let's go on to step number 2. Step number 2 is visualization. And I'm so excited about this one because, if you know what you're doing, visualization is so easy. We are born with an imagination. And when we grow up and we get past the formative years, we're told, drop off that imagination, drop it at the door. And now we need to be realistic. We need to be steadfast. Well, what I'm sharing with you today is we need to maintain that level of imagination. Okay, we have to be able to visualize the end from the beginning. So visualize the thing that we want to acquire and the thing that we want to achieve. Okay, so what are some of the secrets of visualization? Because I hear you loudly and clearly saying, I've done it, I've tried it, and it didn't work. Well, step number one in terms of visualization is that, and it doesn't have to be called visualization, it can be called prayer. Okay, going to your wherever you go and asking. Okay, it can be called meditation, going and seeing it in a meditative state. Okay, but I'm calling it visualization for the purpose of what we're doing here today. So when you go and you visualize, you're seeing what it is that you want as if it's already done. What are some of the key tools? Well, as I said last week, one of the key secrets to visualization is the emotion that accompanies the visualization. Okay, the emotion that accompanies the visualization. So you're not just gonna see it, but you're going to feel the joy as if it's already done. You're going to just put yourself in an optimal state as if this particular thing has already happened. Okay. And where are we? Where are we? So we're talking about how you need to put yourself in an optimal state. Okay, another key tip when it comes to visualization, number two, is that you don't just see the end from the beginning, but a secret that I learned from another excellent coach, and this is a secret too, when we are coaching, and let's say your business is coaching, you should also have a coach. You should have somebody that's supporting you, helping you to move forward in your business project and endeavor. So my coaching is also for coaches. Okay, the secret is that you should look for the different things that you would have to do along that journey to achieve that goal, some of the harsh things, some of the challenging things that you need to do in order to achieve that goal. And visualize yourself doing them, visualize yourself accomplishing them. So, one of the key secrets to, well, not secrets, but one of the tools in terms of being a successful coach is that you have to actually make calls. You have to actually make phone calls. And many people don't want to make phone calls. Some of us have staff to make phone calls, but whether you're making them yourself or your staff is making the calls, somebody has to make the phone calls. So, one of the key things in terms of your visualization, if that's an area that's of challenge for you, is to visualize yourself making those calls. Okay, so I heard some of you are saying it's hard for you to get online and join me. Let us see if I can help you with that, or if I can have the team help you with that. This is where team comes in handy, guys. This is where team comes in handy. Okay, so you're visualizing yourself getting through the harsh places. So let's say your goal is to write a book, and your goal is, like Dennis, you want to have your poetry book. And one of the challenging parts is actually editing. One of the most challenging parts of my putting my book together was the editing. So let's say you have somebody else to edit it for you, great. But if you don't, you need to visualize yourself sitting down there and mulling through the editing page after page after page and actually doing it. Feel the emotion of it, because it's not necessarily a pleasant emotion, but overcome it and make sure that you do it in your mind's eye, and then actually put it into practice and do it. So many of you have said that visualization has not worked for you in the past, but this is one of the key secrets. You're only visualizing the end from the beginning. Okay, but in addition to visualizing the end from the beginning, we have to visualize us accomplishing the needlepoint moves that are required in order for us to reach the goal. So I always say, here we are today. Part of being clear is looking at where we are today and looking at where we need to go. Okay, and then there's the dash in the middle. So the most challenging thing is for us to look at here and visualize us accomplishing it here. So we don't do that. We do needlepoint moves. We can go from here to here, and then we just go from here to here, and then we go from here to here. Okay, so for example, let me tell you a story. So I had a job where I had to visit people who were in a truancy prevention program. So the kids were not going to school, and the parents were obviously not making them go to school. So my job was to go into the home and be quasi enforcer. So it was a social service type position. And I had to help them to figure out why they weren't going and then get them to go. Otherwise, the kids would have been taken out of the home. So the hardest thing for some of them was to go from, I'm not going to school, I'm laying in bed all day, to I'm going to go to school. All right. There was a young lady, and she had been burned over a large percentage of her body. So her face was completely burned. But she had gone to regular school. And now she was in high school, and the kids at school had never seen her before. And even I, with my social service background, director of this, that, and the other, when I saw her, I gasped, okay, because I felt like a mom seeing a child. So the goal was for her to get from not going to school and staying in bed to going to school all day. So we didn't start with that. We didn't start with her going to school all day. Okay. We started with her getting up out of bed. Okay. Putting on her clothes and sitting up and being a person in the home. All right. That was a step, a micro step from here to here. Okay. It was a micro win, just a small win, but it was essential to get to here. And then maybe the next day she put on her clothes, she sat up, and she went outside and faced the public. Okay. So that was a micro win, another micro win. It got her closer to her goal, which was actually going to school. All right. And then so on and so forth. And there were all these incremental wins before this girl was able to actually go to school. She went to school. She didn't start with the whole day. She started just going, leaving. Okay. So they saw her, they were exposed to her, she was exposed to them, and then so on and so forth. So it was a success story because eventually she was able to go and gain confidence. And for those of you who need to gain confidence in terms of speaking, remember I have the program for you to speak with confidence and to become a world-class speaker. I say it over and over because it's so essential that we cultivate the art of speaking well. It will help us in our jobs. It will help us to earn more. It will help us to move forward in an immense way, more so than you've ever imagined. Because if many of the people are wanting to have successful businesses, but you don't want to get online, you don't want to talk, and you don't want to share. You don't want to share and raise your hand in meetings. So basically, step number 2 was visualization. So visualizing the end from the beginning, but also visualizing the incremental wins along the way. All right, step number 3 was momentum. Okay, and I'm going to talk for 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to see if I can help you guys to get in, because I still see that many people are saying they can't get in. So visualization was number 2. Looking at the incremental wins, not trying because we don't like that word, but endeavoring to look at all of the challenging things along the way and seeing yourself doing those little things that we don't really want to do. Okay, the next step is momentum. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Get up and do it. Okay. And I'm so proud of so many of you. I'm so proud of you, Ruth, because you've gotten up and you've started your business. I'm so proud of you, Christina, because you've gotten up and you're out there and you're working your business. I'm so proud of so many of you. Bertram, you're doing your speaking business. Just do it. Begin. Get up, make the phone call, talk to who you need to talk to, even though you're not clear about how everything is going to turn out, or maybe you don't have all the details, but this is what happens. First, you're clear about what you want. You visualize yourself accomplishing it. You get up and you do an incremental step. So at the point of you making that decision, okay, the word kaidir means to cut. That's the word for decision, to decide. So you cut off any other option at that particular juncture and you move forward. Okay, and that is momentum. This is the key secret, guys, that has illuminated and enlightened so many people. I'll tell you a secret. Most of us, when we've started our businesses, we didn't necessarily know how we were going to do all of the different steps and go through all of the different stages. We just started. Poll any successful entrepreneur and ask them, did you know all of the steps that you were gonna have to go through? Did you know were you sure about all of the things that you were gonna have to do in this particular business? If they're honest with you, they will tell you no. Even the head of Berkshire Hathaway, okay, one of the wealthiest men that we know of, okay, when he does his investments, he doesn't know how the investment is going to pan out. He really doesn't. But he's using whatever intellect he has, he's using the ability that he has, the knowledge that he has at that juncture to move forward in that venture. Okay, so that's my challenge for you today. It's 10:30. I'm asking you to contact me and get some help in terms of formulating that plan. But even in terms of us formulating the plan, the key step is to get moving, okay, in that business project or endeavor. And if you don't know even where to get started, that's where your coach comes in handy to help you to put together that plan to begin the journey. Okay. So I was on another call, and I'm just going to say this one last thing. I was on another call with some folks, and the lady was talking about the law of attraction. And she said, you just put something out there and then you basically let it happen. I'm sharing with you, I've tried that. That does not work. Okay. Don't waste your time. If you just put something out there and you do nothing else, it's probably not going to work. But if you follow the tools and the techniques that I'm sharing with you, which is to begin, but get a plan as to how you're going to achieve this thing while you're moving forward. You're looking at your plan every day. Oh, that's another thing. You got to do it on a daily basis, do it on a regular basis. So you set the plan, you put it out there, you've decided, you put it out there, you're visualizing it. But then while you're moving along, you're actually getting more and more information about how to do it. Okay. And as you get more information about how to do it, you write it down and you move forward in that. And then you meet people who are already doing what it is that you want to do. That's the secret. Okay. That's why there's so many different coaches. So I may not be the ideal coach for you, but within our mastermind group and within our programs, there's so many other coaches. So you find somebody who has an expertise in the area that you want to go into. And that way, when they look at your plan and they critique your plan, they can tell you, oh, go left here, go right here. And like I always say, it's like a GPS, okay? The GPS does not work when you're sitting in the garage, okay? But as you move along, the GPS can say, go right, go left, because you've gone the wrong way. You know, oh, you can make a left here, you can make a right here. The most important thing is to move forward. Like Nike says, just do it. Alrighty, guys. So I understand that there's some more people that want to sign on, and I'm going to see if we can help you to do just that. So once again, before I sign off, I want to let you know to please click on to www.askarleneshow.com, and you can get the link there. And you can also see the programs that we offer and be able to see what it is that you need, whether it's, moving forward in your business, whether it's writing that book, whether it's moving forward on your job. Coaching is essential for all of us, okay? And I always talk about Oprah Winfrey, who has a coach. I talk about Elon Musk, who has a coach. I talk about President Barack Obama. All of these very successful people hire coaches in order to help them to move forward. And so that's why we need to as well. And like I said, I have several coaches as well. All righty. So www.askarleneshow.com. Go on there. There's free videos there. There's lots of free information you can garner, as well as some of the masterminds that we have had with many other people. Okay, so I'm going to see what I can do to get some of these other people on. Thanks.